My name is Armando Ello. I'm helping photographers, part-time photographers, become better at their craft and eventually become full-time photographers. So one of the ways I'm helping photographers is that I believe that you have to get better at your craft itself, because the work eventually will speak for itself and eventually will get you clients. And I also believe that the photography skill is a whole arsenal of tools what you have to master. It doesn't happen like overnight. I'm doing this craft for 20 plus years now. Since 1999 I went to a photography school, and the way I have learned to post-process in Lightroom in this example, is because I have learned how to cope with Photoshop. When I was starting out at school, the digital photography just was developing. It was sort of like the first digital cameras entered the market. So I was studying this development in digital photography and how the sensor of pixels was different from film. So during my education, the first 2 and 3 years were actually taught in the dark room, developing my own film, black and white film, and then also developing it on paper and doing it all by hand and with the analog way. Eventually we had many lessons in a dark room, many hours with chemicals, and at the end of the day, after like sitting all day looking at the picture developing in the dark room, I came back with a headache at the end of the day, and it also cost me a lot of money because all my school tuition went in the films and in the paper, and sometimes I couldn't even finish my assignment from school because I couldn't get enough paper. So I have learned it the hard way how a picture actually develops. From white paper till gray shades until it has a contrast where you can actually see the picture, whether it's sharp or maybe low of contrast or even overlit. You want to minimize those mistakes because these mistakes cost literally pocket cash. So I have learned it the hard way and the long way. The first time I got in touch with digital processing is when films are getting scanned. So after the film scan, we had a digital file. In this one we can open in a program. So with the digital lessons at school, we had the program Photoshop, of course, Adobe Photoshop. And back then it was maybe version 2 or something. When the picture opened up in Photoshop, I didn't have a clue what to do with the picture. So the picture was sitting there, and I had an assignment to publish this picture for a newspaper, for a local newspaper in the Netherlands, in Ede, where I studied. So the teacher taught me like how to look at the levels, how to look at the histogram and make a black point and a white point, and also clean up the dust on the film. Because if you scan a film, you also scan the dust on it, and you have to retouch it before it can actually be published. And also export it in a certain amount of pixels, which is perfect for the newspaper, how many DPI or PPI I should export it. So I developed those skills from the beginning as basics until now, 20 years later. I'm still learning in Lightroom what the possibilities are. But what I see and what you can learn from these lessons is that I actually take a look at the histograms and the levels, what information I have. So I have a different kind of approach in making those presets. And a preset is not that difficult actually. Everyone can make a preset or download a preset and adjust it. Because everything a preset is any kind of adjustment at those levels, at those layers, at those colors in those pixels. I think I can bring my basic knowledge and plus the experience I have of the last 20 years in color grading, for example, I can bring it to the table when you learn Lightroom with me and learn how to make your own presets and also learn how to use them for yourself. So there's a larger knowledge behind downloading all those presets, and if you don't even have to, and I would suggest and advise you to make it yourself and master them. I'm going to actually learn it you in three major steps. And first of all, we're going to take a look at the histogram and correct the picture as is. And then we're going to color grade those pictures with the different tools we have here in Lightroom. So here on the right side, you will see stacked up all those different effects in Lightroom, like the basic, the tone curves, H&L color grading, and I will dissect these in 3 major steps how you should work in the workflow in making a preset. So first of all, we're going to correct the picture. Then we're going to color the picture and also take a look at the contrast and the sharpness and also the lens corrections. And then we're going to export it as a preset, so you can use it on later pictures and future pictures which you are going to use for your work or portfolio. So to correct those pictures, we're going to take a look at the basics, at these slides like the temperature, the tint, exposure, contrast, and all that. How you should use the auto button for that, and how you correct it, and how you can take a look in here. That is the correction part. And after that, I will learn you color those pictures. What does the color grading do? How should you color the picture, and when should you use this, for example? I will teach you in detail how you should work with color and how you can make it your own style without making it too harsh. Let's put it this way, I will teach you a way to make it more harmonious so that your picture will pop, but it still is pleased to look at. And then in the last section, I will teach you how to export them as presets, which is actually very easy. But I'm also teaching you how you should export it so you can apply to every kind of picture. For example, if you take a look at this picture, it went from this to this, or maybe the next picture. Let me see. So this is the original picture, from this to this, or maybe this one. Let's see. Yeah, from this to this result. So this one is also a good one because I applied a preset with this one. So this one is actually only corrected, and this is with a preset. And these are different kinds of presets, and I will learn you how to make your own, which is visual appealing. And then you can so I have a set of presets right here, for example. There are already presets in the program already, so here are some presets and you can take a look at that one. But I will also explain you why it's not always a good idea to use this one in the beginning. And here are my own user presets. Which are not always like applicable to this kind of picture, but there's I'm also explaining when you should use a certain kind of preset for a certain kind of picture. So after this, so the goal is to master your own presets, to make your own presets and master them for your own picture and portfolio. It is your own process. After having this knowledge, you have a better basic understanding if you download or even purchase presets from other photographers. And I will also learn you how you can steal from other photographers. This is a secret which I will teach you also in Lightroom. And like Picasso said, good artists copy and great artists steal. So take your advantage. So I invite you to download my free masterclass on how to make your own presets. I will see you on the flip side. Peace.